Hello and welcome back once again to your own channel, Judicious. Body language speaks volumes. Do you know that up to 93% of communication is non-verbal, including tone of voice, eye movement, posture, hand gestures, facial expressions, and more? The pressure of body language can especially be felt in emotional situations. Body language usually prevails over words. Are you good at reading body language? Let's see. The eyes communicate more than any other part of the human anatomy. Maintained eye contact can show if a person is trustworthy, sincere, or caring. Shifty eyes, too much blinking can suggest deception. Eyebrow muscle draws the eyebrows down and toward the center of the face if someone is annoyed. There are 50 or so different types of human smiles. By analyzing the movements of over 80 facial muscles involved in smiling, researchers can tell when a smile is true. Bodily cues are the most reliable of all non-verbal signals of deception to help you read body language. This is because a person generally has less conscious control over these than other signals. Vocal cues can predict deception. More and lengthier pauses during conversation, word repetitions, including sounds not part of the actual speech, less lengthy answers or explanations where they would be expected to be. Space is also important. Personal space is needed, and if it is invaded intentionally or at times by oversight, can cause an individual to feel uncomfortable or threatened. Gestures communicate too. Hand signals can communicate without the use of any speech. Touching communicates. The way a person stands reflects their level of confidence and comfort. When you interact socially, develop your listening and observation skills. Watch your body language. Avoid shifting eyes and head quickly during conversation when someone asks you a question. Look directly at the person with a sense of confidence, but not overbearing or threatening in nature. Remember, if you want to win someone over, a good rule of thumb is to mirror his or her body language. Read their body language and follow their lead. The shoulder shrug is also a good example of a universal gesture that is used to show that a person does not know or understand what you are talking about. The ring or OK gesture. The OK meaning is common to all English-speaking countries and it means all correct. The thumb up gesture. In Britain, Australia and New Zealand, the thumb up gesture has three meanings. It is commonly used by hitchhikers who are thumbing a lift. It is an OK signal, and when the thumb is jerked sharply upwards, it becomes an insult signal, meaning up yours or sit on this. Congruence, state of agreement. We often see a high-ranking politician standing behind a lectern with his arms tightly folded across his chest and chin down, while telling his audience how receptive and open he is to the ideas of young people. Territories and zones. First is intimate zone, that's between 6 to 8 inches. Of all these zone distances, this is by far the most important, as it is this zone that a person guards as if it were his own property. Only those who are emotionally close to that person are permitted to enter it. This includes lovers, parents, spouse, children, close friends, and relatives. Personal zone, between 18 to 48 inches. This is the distance that we stand from others at cocktail parties, office parties, social functions, and friendly gatherings. Social zone, between 4 to 12 feet. We stand at this distance from strangers, the plumber or carpenter doing repairs around our home, the postman, the local shopkeeper, the new employee at work, and people whom we do not know very well. And the last is public zone, over 12 feet. Whenever we address a large group of people, this is the comfortable distance at which we choose to stand. Palm gestures. Submissive palm position. The palm facing up is used as a submissive, non-threatening gesture, reminiscent of the pleading gesture of a street beggar. Dominant palm position. When the palm is turned to face downwards, you will have immediate authority. The person to whom you have directed the request feels that he has been given an order and may feel antagonistic towards you, depending on your relationship with him. Aggressive palm position. The palm is closed into a fist and the pointed finger becomes a symbolic club with which the speaker figuratively beats his listener into submission. The pointed finger is one of the most irritating gestures that a person can use while speaking. Glove handshake. The glove handshake is sometimes called the politician's handshake. The initiator tries to give the receiver the impression that he is trustworthy and honest. But when this technique is used on a person he has just met, it has the reverse effect. The receiver feels suspicious and cautious about the initiator's intentions. The glove should only be used with people to whom the initiator is well known. Double-handed handshakes. The intention of the double-handed handshake is to show sincerity, trust, or depth of feeling towards the receiver. The elbow grasp transmits more feeling than the wrist hold and the shoulder hold. In general, the wrist hold and the elbow grasp are acceptable only between close friends or relatives. Hand and arm gestures. Rubbing the palms together. Rubbing the palms together is a way in which people non-verbally communicate positive expectation. Hands clenched together. Research says that hands clenched together is a frustration gesture, signaling that the person is holding back a negative attitude. The gesture has three main positions. The person would be more difficult to handle when the hands are held high than he would be with the person whose hands are resting on the desk position. Steepling hands. People who are confident, superior types, or who use minimal or restricted body gestures often use this gesture, and by doing so, they signal their confident attitude. It indicates a confident or know-it-all attitude. Managers often use this gesture position when giving instructions or advice to subordinates, and it is particularly common among accountants, lawyers, managers, and the like. The gesture has two versions. The raised steeple. The position is normally taken when the steepler is giving his opinions or ideas and is doing the talking. The lowered steeple. The position is normally used when the steepler is listening rather than speaking. Superiority or confidence gesture. Several prominent male members of the British royal family are noted for their habit of walking with their head up, chin out, and one palm gripping the other hand behind their back. Hand gripping wrist gesture, which is a signal of frustration and an attempt at self-control. In this case, one hand grips the other wrist or arm very tightly, as if it is an attempt by one arm to prevent the other from striking out. Upper arm grip gesture. The further the hand is moved up the back, the more angry the person has become. He is showing a greater attempt at self-control than the man in hand gripping wrist gesture, because the hand is gripping the upper arm, not just the wrist. Thumb displays. The thumbs denote strength of character and ego, and the non-verbal use of thumbs agrees with this. They are used to display dominance, superiority, or even aggression. Dominant male. Arms folded with thumbs pointing upwards is another popular thumb gesture position. This is a double signal, being that of a defensive or negative attitude plus a superior attitude. Dominant female. Dominant or aggressive women also use this gesture.